Alright guys, got this backwards again. How's it going, guys? Alright, I'm gonna try this one more time. It seems like every time I get about a minute to a minute 30 into the video, something's wrong with my app, because I can FaceTime, I can do the iMessage video thingamajig. For some reason, every time I do my YouTube app now, it seems to cancel out. So we're gonna try this one more time. If it doesn't work, then I do apologize for everyone that's been kind of showing in and showing up. So let's see what happens. So awesome. Let's see, how's it going, guys? So just hanging out the shop, been here for a few hours and just doing some cleaning up because just been a lot of things going on, whether it is, I was just talking about you. Where's the Chevy? I'll get to your guys' questions soon. Like I said, let's see, I'm gonna see how this video goes first. And if you guys weren't here in the very beginning, I don't know why my YouTube app or my YouTube live keeps canceling out, because we'll be like about a month or about a minute or so into the video, and then it says that something's wrong with my audio or video. So I have no idea what's going on with that. It seems like it happens every single time I do a YouTube live video now. It wasn't doing that earlier this year, but now it is. So anyways, Wenatchee, how's it going? Jesus, and okay, cool. So we're gonna try this out. Seems like we're going pretty strong. I'm not gonna go too much further into it because I want to see, kind of test out this connection, see how it is. So let's go with the first question. I can already see something. Do you have a contractor's license? Yes, I do. I've had one for the past several years now. If you sell of your Echo equipment, would you ship to UK? No, I wouldn't. And I'm not sure. I kind of have an idea what I'm thinking about doing with all my Echo equipment. I guess I can go ahead and tell you. I was talking to Kevin from Fall River. He kind of has the same similar idea. And when I do my videos, I'm thinking about having my background being a wall of all my equipment as like a display, kind of as a different background. So that's what I was thinking about doing. I was talking to Kevin just a few days ago, and he had that idea as well. And so he was thinking about hanging on his wall different things from different companies that we both gotten shipped to, such as Milwaukee, Echo, RZ Mask, you know, the same stuff. I'm thinking about just doing strictly power equipment, but we'll see how that all goes and see it. Dang, sorry guys, there's a lot of comments. Beach River, oh hey Beach, how's it going, buddy? And thanks guys for all the great comments. The Chevy right now is outside in the back. Seems like my YouTube live's going pretty well right now, so I went ahead and did a general update on my phone. It seems like that's been doing pretty good. How do you like the Walker Northwest Edition? So far it's pretty good. I have it hanging right back. Actually, this is kind of probably a better backdrop right here. So far it's been good. I only got to use it that one day from my previous video, as you guys saw. The only thing I didn't like about it so far was the forward and backwards lever. Seemed like there was quite a lot of tension. I'm sure you can adjust that. That's no problem at all. And so one of the things I saw in one of the comments was, what's the difference between this model and then going to like a normal B? You know, the B models, which is either a side discharge or the mulching deck. And really what it comes down to, I think this model is like $1,200 or $1,400 more than a normal B model with the same engine, the B23 and everything like that. And which is actually not that bad. You're getting a utility bed, which I can see being very well used for when we fertilize, especially hauling the bags around. That's what I was doing earlier. Because when I do my condos, what I do is I go set a bag at each one of my the people's houses, and then I do one house, go to that, pick up a bag, and then do the next. I found that to be so far the easiest. So not only are you getting the dump bed, you're also getting you can change the different tires, different rims. You're getting the lights. I don't really tend to use them, but they've been kind of coming in handy pretty well. And then also you get the suspension seat. And the suspension seat alone is like a $1,200 upgrade. I think it's brand new. I think they're $1,200. Could be a little bit more. So it's like for the extra little bit of money, you're kind of getting all these additional things compared to the regular B23 model. So of course, since this is a demo, the representative that's been letting me use it, they're going to be selling this next year. So the price of it is going to be a little bit cheaper because I would be getting it at a demo price if I chose to get it. And so that's kind of why I'm looking at getting this one. I saw it earlier this year, looked like a really cool model. Just because, like I said, there's no point of having two T25Is with the bagging systems when I can get the other one, especially since this is supposed to be really good on hills, which is a big deal because there's a few hills where I literally have to go backwards up the hill with the T25i compared to this. So I've been seeing a lot of comments. Holy crap, this is, I don't even know where to leave off at. Oh my gosh, sorry guys. And it sucks because people that come, that rewatch this, they're not able to see all the comments, so they're not able to see what I'm looking at. What do you think of the Bad Boy? I don't know if it's Bad Boy mowers or this thing. So far, it's going good. All right, so I'm back where we are. Hello from Spokane. How's it going, buddy? That's awesome. I was just there last year, the beginning of this year when I bought the T25i. What do you think is the best starter zero turn is? Oh crap, that's a very difficult question. Like I said, the first thing I go based off of is what do your local dealers sell. I don't have too many local dealers around my area, so to be honest, that's it's a tough question because there's so many different mowers out there when it comes to stand on, walk behind, whatever. So I like the Walker. I don't think the Walker is a good starter mower at all because they're extremely overpriced. In some areas they're overpriced. They're really spendy. So when you're first starting out, it's kind of a rough mower to get into because I feel like with the deck the way it is and the type of mower it is, it's more for higher end lawns. And typically when you start out, you tend to do a lot of the rough stuff like what I did. I started out doing disgusting rental properties and I flippin' hated it because it just beat the crap out of my mowers. And I used to have a Craftsman back in the day. I honestly would not, if you have the money, if you start out, if you buy into a company, then if you can get a Walker, they're great if that's the type of landscapes that you maintain or properties. But I don't think Walker's a good starter mower because they're just too expensive. So how's the house coming? Pretty good. I'll go out there in a little bit. I'll show you guys how the house is coming along. We're a little bit behind schedule. My contractor, 2 or 3 of the guys that worked for him, not fired, they quit on him about a week or 2. So I've only been having 2 guys working on my house. We were supposed to have the whole thing completely dried in, and we've just been getting soaked recently, so it really sucks. So I'll show you guys probably in about 5 minutes. I'll go out there real quick and show you. But the house is coming along pretty good. We're trying to get in before February, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen. Will you buy a new truck for the business, whether it be pickup or dump truck? That's a really good question. And really, as of right now, no. If some of you guys know, I am completely debt-free. The only thing that I will finally actually have debt on or a payment will be the house and shop soon. My property, I paid cash for this thing, so that's one thing. But the house and shop are going to be the only things I owe on. But I personally, I was, the only things I ever gotten loans on was the Hustler X1 right there and the Fast Track before that. And the only reason why I got loans on them was because they were 0% interest. So if you are going to get a loan, especially on a mower, I would recommend 0% interest. If it's not 0%, I wouldn't even honestly look at it. I believe in paying cash for things. It's to me, it's more impressive. And then, like I said, I got sick of having the monthly payments. I enjoy being debt-free because I'm free to do a lot more things. So, no, I don't plan on probably ever buying a brand new truck. If I do, it would be slightly used because you're saving thousands of dollars because of the amount of money you lose right when you drive out the lot. So, so far, I'm happy with the trucks I have. I actually prefer the later 90s, early 2000 trucks because there's not so much electronic crap in there, and then you don't have all the emissions crap in your engine. And there's a lot more you can do. I can easily, if something's wrong, like a dash light in my F-150 and it goes out, I can replace that. The newer trucks, they're all digital and computerized where you can't necessarily do it yourself. You have to take it into a shop. So I don't plan on ever buying a new truck. I plan on buying slightly new. But the newer stuff, I love the looks of them, but I just don't care for all the computers and the emissions and stuff like that. So let's see. Do you know a way that I can wear a mask and safety glasses without fogging up my safety glasses? That's kind of hard. I personally love using my Oakleys. No matter what glasses you use, you're always going to get some kind of fog, even if they say anti-fog. I actually enjoy the RZ masks because they have a metal clamp that you can clamp down pretty hard around your nose, and that will at least help with a lot of the air going up into your glasses. So I would recommend, honestly, the RZ mask because that's the one I use the most. And then I think all glasses are truly the same. I think they all fog up even though they claim they don't. So that's what I would recommend. What do you think of the Bad Boy? Not sure if I asked you before. I think you're referring to Bad Boy mowers. I personally don't like them, or at least a couple years ago. They had it at one of our local fairs. And to me, I call them kit mowers because it looks like, one thing I love about my Hustler X1 is that everything's welded together, at least this year. The newer stuff I don't really care for either. Bad Boy mowers, when I was closely looking at them, it looked like they were more, I call them kit mowers because they're all bolted together. And to me, that looks like cheap and crap. And so I'm not really impressed with Bad Boy mowers. I can tell they've been trying to get out there a little bit more. So if I were you, I'd go with a different brand. They're just not as popular, and I don't think I've ever seen anyone. I've seen only a couple of guys use them, but they're not as popular as Exmark, Walker, Skag, those kind of things. So that's what I would do. This from Gonzalez. How's it going, buddy? I see you in all my videos. Are you going to sell the Chevy, like you said, and buy a newer pickup truck to haul the enclosed? I'm going to sell the Chevy once the winter's over, because that way I have a 4-wheel drive for if we do get snow. Plus, it's been a great work truck for me working on my shop in my house. So when I'm heading to the store and I'm actually having to get extra lumber, it's been so nice using that thing, because the diesel is usually filled out with yard waste hooked up to the trailer, and it's just such a pain. So I plan on selling the Chevy. I was thinking about getting a newer truck, but with the house and shop, not right now. I plan on, my wife and I are building up our savings even more. So I'm setting more of a goal to have a bigger savings rather than a newer truck. To me, having savings in that safety net is more important than having a flashy truck to impress people I don't know and don't care for. So yes, I do plan on selling the Chevy, but not anytime soon, especially until the house is done. Where do you want to be in 10 years? 10 years. My goal is, that's actually a really good question, really is to have maybe at least a crew or two of guys where I'm not necessarily doing the hard work anymore. I'm kind of running it from behind. I plan on hopefully in 10 years having another business, another maybe 2 or 3. I've been wanting to look at starting another business, but I want to find something that I have a true passion and love in. I'm not in it just for the money. I'm in it for the passion, because that's what drives me, just like landscaping lawn care. So until I find that, I'm actually starting to find it more with video editing and recording. So that's why I've been investing so much into my video editing and recording. Actually, just a day or two ago, I just spent over almost $3,500 on a brand new camera, nicer lens, because right now I'm holding my phone because otherwise the comments and stuff like that. So I've been using the Sony a6300. Been a great camera. The thing I hate is it doesn't have a flip out screen. So when I record myself when I'm doing product reviews, I can't see what I look like. I can't see if I'm in focus. I can't see my colors, if I'm overexposed. So, and you can buy external screens to hook up to this, but the battery on these things suck. And the amount of money I would be spending to get an extra decent screen for this, I went ahead and upgraded to the Panasonic GH5, and I'll be doing that. I'll be showing you guys everything I bought. I just invested, like I said, $3,500 in a brand new camera, a new lens, a speed booster with it, if you guys don't know what that is, and even a better setup for voiceover. So I got a really nice voiceover microphone with an interface. So I'm literally going all out, because once I get my house built and I have finally my office, I'm going to have a complete setup where I plan on posting more videos, especially more how-to videos and tricks and tips, like how to start your lawn care company, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, so thanks, D. So Mike D, where you want to be in 10 years. So 10 years, I would love to be as close to or debt-free with the house and shop. Plan on having another career or two, hopefully have another company, and kind of some things in the works. So who knows where I'll be, but that's kind of what I'm shooting to. And long story short, successful. So we'll just end with that. Hey Jason, we follow each other on Instagram. I just started my lawn care company last year. I finished this season strong, and now I'm ready to buy my first enclosed 7x14. How much did your wraps cost? So that was from Eric Spencer. So I didn't get wraps. The logos I got locally, and on the big enclosed trailer, they were around $900. And that was including all the lettering and the big logo. And of course, it's going to vary depending on how many layers and all this other stuff, and plus who you go through. My small enclosed trailer cost me more, around $600 or something. But of course, wrapping your trailer is going to cost a lot more. I know that something similar to my trailer would cost well over $2,000, $2,500. The best person I would ask is Brian from Top Notch, because he gets his trucks wrapped. And I've been looking at doing something like that, but he would be the perfect person to ask. I think in his videos he states what an average cost of that costs. But anyways, that's how much the logos on my trailer cost. So this is from Jesus. How big is the shop? Let's see it. And well, I can move it around. Oh yeah, so the shop is 1,200 square feet. I got 2 doors. A lot of guys recommending going with one big door in the middle. In some areas, I probably would have agreed with that. That way but like the way I planned on doing it was pulling both my trucks and trailers in it. And then I realized that if I were to do that, I would literally have no room in here to work. So I prefer the 2 doors because, as you guys can see, this side is completely filled out with all of our windows and some furniture that we're going to be moving over into the house. So while this side is completely filled up, I can still pull a truck and trailer in this way, where if I would have done it in the middle, it's a little bit more difficult. I don't know. And then here's this side. And so there's some good things, good and bad, about having 2 doors. I personally like it because I don't pull my trucks and trailers in as much. If I was parking my trucks and trailers in here every single night, then I probably would have said, yeah, I'll go for a single door. But I decided not to do that because I wanted to keep as much of this center space or as much open space in the shop as possible. I did not want it filled up and cramped because if there's one thing I hate, it is a cramped shop. So anyway, so we got like the wall of trimmers. Got one of my workbenches. I got the one I'm currently working on right now or sitting at. And then, so 12-foot high ceilings. I will be getting this insulated hopefully sometime soon. I'm gonna wait till after the house is done to do all that kind of stuff. So let me go back to where I was. Let's see. This is from Lawn Justice wanting to get to the big property HOAs. Would you be willing to chat sometime? I have a few questions. The best thing to do, honestly, man, is Instagram message me. I really don't have too many times to pick up phone calls. And truthfully, when people call me off of YouTube, I don't ever call them back because I'm really, booked up as it is. Because I'm already constantly calling contractors, especially trying to get my house built. As a lot of you guys don't know, I'm having another baby on the way. So we got doctor's appointments, calling contractors, trying to get our house built, and then also taking care of my family as it is right now. So if you have, I plan on posting some more videos on how to get HOAs and large condos, or at least how I got them. So I'll probably be doing that really soon. So where can I buy the RZ mask? You can definitely buy it off their website. In one of my review videos, it should be on the main page of my YouTube channel. I have a review of the RZ mask, so you can easily find it on the first page. And I believe I had the link down below for the masks, so be sure to check that out. Eric Spencer again, how much was the total cost to build the shop from start to finish? It's not completely finished, but as of right now, we're hovering around that $50,000 mark. And that's not including, I haven't even gotten electricity in here yet. Basically, everything you see running is running off extension cords, like literally all over the place. Because I can't hook up electricity until I have my house built because the main panel is in the house. So I've just been running off literally extension cords. There's extension cords everywhere right there. The main one's over there is the orange one. All my lights up above, I have extension cords running all throughout the, trusses and everything like that. So, but so far we're sitting around that $50,000 mark for the shop. So let's see, this is from Lawn M Landscaping 99. What is your favorite walker mower? So far the T25i, because I haven't really, this is the first time I've experienced with the B models. So as of right now, I really enjoy the T25i, not the B25i. And so that's just depends on what you're doing. That's what I would recommend. But so far I really like them. High impact lawn care. Can you change the decks out on the walkers? Yes, you can. That's one thing I did like about them. And I just put on that T25i. I just put the deck on it, and I just put the bagging or the collective deck. And I did have that side discharge, but when I demoed it, we transferred it over to that. So yes, you can change them out. There's certain decks, like I think it's the H models, which is like what Brian from Top Notch has. Those things are a flipping beast. Those are the rear discharge, and those will only work on those mowers, I'm pretty sure. Where the collective deck, clearly on the collective mowers, but you can also put mulching decks, which I had one on it earlier this year. I have a video on it. And also the side discharge, which in my last riding shotgun, you can do that. So yes, you can interchange those. Eric Spencer, the name of my company is Nick's Landscaping LLC. Yeah, that sounds familiar. I know there's a few guys with Nickens and all that kind of stuff. So Kyle and I looked at HD, Home Depot, and the only mask I found were 3M. Yeah, you can't, they don't sell those at Home Depot. You have to, I say Home Depot because my grandpa does. I know it's called Home Depot, but I say Home Depot. But yeah, the best place is to get them online, that's for sure. Colin Murphy, what are your thoughts on Stihl compared to Echo? Well, I got a lot of thoughts on that. As you guys know, I just partially switched over to Stihl. And basically, as you guys know, I switched over to their weed whackers, and I've been using their blowers since the beginning of my company, and I use their backpack sprayers. I'm still using my Echo head trimmers because I really like those still, or at least the one that was sent to me from Echo, which is the HC2420, and also their chainsaws because I have quite a few chainsaws. So I have great things to say about Stihl, and then some bad things, and I have some good things to say about Echo, and then some bad things. In my personal opinion, I think that Stihl, their equipment overall is well finished, well put together. And I know a lot of guys are going to disagree. And, you know, to be honest, Stihl and Echo is just like Microsoft and Mac or Apple. I think you're always going to have someone that hates the other. One's going to claim one better than the other. If I were to label them, I would say Stihl is more like Apple or Mac, and Echo is more like Microsoft, meaning that Microsoft, you can get it for a lot cheaper, and Stihl is usually a bit more expensive, but some say it's a little bit more well put together. So honestly, I can make a whole separate video on what I think about each one. I think they have their strengths and weaknesses, but it seems like from what I've seen from not only comments, from my polls I do, a lot more people use Stihl than Echo, and it is starting to pour outside again. James West, when's part 2 of the riding shotgun? So I was going to do part 2, and I found out that I accidentally deleted the first mowing part. So I have part of that day, which is me blowing the leaves into the yard, but me mowing it with the walker I don't have. So I don't think there's ever going to be a part 2, and if I did post that one video, it would be extremely boring because I don't think people want to just watch me blowing leaves around. So we'll see. I might throw it up, especially if I don't have any videos to post. This is from John's Lawn. How much do you think you will sell it for? I think that's the T25i. I bought it for $9,500. I put $1,200 into it to get it fixed, which was like a new gearbox, new pulleys, and new other things. And then I'm also going to be selling a front mount Thatcher from JRCO or Jarco. So I'm going to start it off probably around $10,000. It's a little over 900 and something hours. Everything works great. It works fine. So I'm probably going to throw it up for 10. That's what, I've talked to my dealer, my representative, and they say that's a fairly fair price, especially since, like I said, it comes with a front mount Thatcher, because I have the Walker one, and I don't really care for the JRCO or Jarco. Keegan Brown, that's how you spell it, or say it. What do you think about the Bad Boy? Not sure if I asked. Yes, I answered that. Anyways, Jevin Wright, do you do plowing in the winter? If so, can we talk about how you price? I actually don't do any plowing because we don't get any snow. A few weeks ago, we got 4 inches, 2 inches on one day, and then a couple days later, another 2 inches. But the snow only lasts a day or two, and it's not worth me spending several $1,000s or a few $1,000s or whatever on a plow just because there's not enough work around here for me to do it. So I'm the worst person to ask about plowing. I will sometimes do the plowing for my condos where I'll just go and shovel, and I'll make $500 in a couple hours, no problem. And but that's literally the only thing I do, and I have to shovel it by hand. So I'm like the worst person to ask about when it comes to plowing. Let's see. Mufa USA Lawns. Is it still light outside? Yes, but it just started pouring again. John's Lawns. How much will you sell the Hustler mower for? I was asking with the bagging system. That thing has a little over 300 hours. Bought it brand new. Runs perfectly fine. Has a $4,000 bagging system. I have several hundred or a couple $100 at least in extra blades, mulching inside is charged. I got the mulching deck for it, or the mulching kit, and so many other so much other crap for it. I had it up for $8,000. Some guy offered me $75. He was about to go with me, but he decided to go somewhere else. So I had it up for $8,000, and I also have literally a brand new 60-inch JRCO or Jarco Thatcher for that thing too. And I barely got any calls on it. So I was asking $8,000 with the Thatcher and bagging system, but that's really all I got. So that's how much I was asking for that one. High impact lawn care, what's the best strategy to get high-end clients? Depends if you're wanting, it depends, commercial, condo, residential. If you're going for residential, the best way I would say is find the neighborhoods in your area. It's funny, I just had some guy ask me on Instagram last night how to get residential. If you want the high-end clients, you have to go into the high-end places and somehow get your name in there. So either go door to door, hand out business cards. Once you get one client in that high-end thing, advertise the crap. Ask them if you can put out lawn signs out in the front of the yard so that when neighbors drive by and they see your work, if you do good work, they'll call you. I did that. I would do 1 yard, and then I had neighbors constantly coming asking to me, so I was taking care of neighborhoods. If you can get neighborhoods, that's the best thing. It's like taking care of condos, but even better because, well, kind of. So that's what I would do. Find the best, highest end neighborhood in your area. Either drop business cards, stop by door, asking them if they're working for work done. If you do get one, give them some business cards, ask them if you can pass them out, because usually nicer end condos usually have HOAs or CC&Rs or whatever like that. And then hopefully they can pass them out at the next meeting, put out lawn signs, just whatever you do, get your name out there in that little neighborhood so people will see it. So that's what I would recommend on getting higher end clients. If you're first starting out, you're not going to get them because you're still learning. So not only it's one thing to go after them, but if you don't have a good name behind you and good work, it doesn't matter how good your advertising is, you're just not going to maintain. You can get them, but to maintain them and keep them, that's a different story. So as long as you're doing good work. Let's see. I got a Ram 1500, nice Ram. Let's see, that's not a question. Do you like the mulching deck on your T25i? I tested it. And I posted a couple of videos about it. I kind of had mixed feelings about it because it mulched. The problem I had with it was it left trails, and I was letting the representative know, it left trails behind me where it looked like it was more, even in dry grass, it looked like it was more rear discharging than mulching. So it would leave these trails, and I would either have to go back over it, mulch it, which when you're doing large condos, I don't have the time to double cut everything because it just takes way too much time. Or I would get a blower and blow it all out. So it was taking more time, and I might try it out again. He was saying that something could have been different, but I've heard good things about it. I didn't have the greatest experience with it, but hopefully we'll see if we can change a couple things there. What do you think of the 48-inch decks? Are they good for residential properties? They are amazing. I love my 48-inch. It has eliminated 90%, 95% of my push mowing jobs. That's why I got rid of the 30 inches. Not only did I just absolutely flip and hate them, but the deck is so perfect where it is not too wide. I can easily get it in people's backyards. I can get it around tight corners. 36 inches is way too small. The deck's not as wide as the width of the mower itself with the wheels unless you have the C model. So I think the 48-inch, if that's too small, the 54 is not too bad, but I think the 48-inch is absolutely perfect. But if you are doing big open properties, I would go with the 50. Oh no, it's a 52, not 54. Thank you. So anyways, yeah, I love those. So cutting right the first time, that's awesome. What do you think about Mean Green mowers, all electric zero-turn mowers and standards? Never heard of the company. I think I've seen them maybe once. I'm not really too familiar. I'm not a big fan of electric or battery operated stuff, to be honest. I think they have quite a lot more research and years to come to be just as good and reliable as a gas engine. There are some great things about electric and battery, but to be honest with you, I would prefer gas any day. I just love my gas engine. So I'm not really, I've tried battery and electric mowers and I absolutely hate them. So I'm gonna stick with my gas. AJ Close, do you have much work over the winter time? Sometimes I do. Usually, like soon, I have about 3 or 4 large hedges. As you guys seen in a lot of my videos, I have a lot of those on my way coming soon. So typically January is the slowest time of year, like absolutely so. December this year is going to be very busy because I'm still doing leaf pickup. I'm still doing final hedge trimmings for extra clients. But usually January, there's like literally nothing because it's so cold. All the pruning's done. Everything else is done. So it's usually perfect. So I usually have like a month of relaxing. But since I have commercial and I have contracts with my clients, I get paid the same amount throughout the whole entire year. So it's like I'm not taking a big loss in January. I'm getting the same amount. I'm getting paid the same amount as if I am in July. So that's what I love about contract jobs. See, T Green, are you going to try the Formix steel weed eaters? Maybe, we'll see. I'm thinking about buying a FS, is it the 91 or 90R? I think I might buy one of those soon just to kind of test that out. But we'll see what happens. So we'll see. If it's, if there's more mixing let's see, with the 4-stroke, you don't have that. So we'll see. Probably not. I'll probably just stick with the 2 strokes just because all my head trimmers and blowers are that. So I would just prefer to just keep it that way. Let's see. Mufa USA again, stand on or zero turn. To be honest, it depends on the property you maintain. I've never tried I've tried a stand on, but I've never owned one. I've seen a lot of guys use them, seen a lot of great use for them. For me, zero turn, but just because those are really popular in my area. But I can see in some areas where stand on. I've been thinking about buying one. I've been thinking about trying one out just because I can see where it can save a lot of time. But for me, zero turn, but for some guys, stand on, just depends. What walker is behind you? I got 2 of them. I got the T25i, the B23i, which is the Northwest edition, which I just posted a video on that, and then my Hustler X1. That is what behind me. Well, you didn't ask about the walker, so that's okay. High Impact Lawn Care, did you build your business from scratch, or did you buy another company out when you first started? I built my company from absolute scratch, literally from the bottom. And I plan on making a separate video for this. Literally, when I started out, I was using clients' equipment, or I used my parents' disgusting, crappy Ryobi stuff. I used to think Ryobi was cool back in the day. I will say this. The only things my parents, because my parents were the only ones that helped me out in the company, these are the only things they did for me. My parents bought me a brand new Ryobi hand blower, which was $100. My dad gave me his tiny little 5x8 foldable trailer that you can get at Costco or even Harbor Freight that was 20 years old, and we used as a dump trailer for 12 years. So it was like literally a piece of crap. And that's literally it. Everything else that you see behind me, all my other tools, I bought with my own money. Nothing was given to me. I worked my butt off to get where I'm at. And there was a lot of stressful times. Like I said, I plan on making a whole separate video about this. But yes, I literally did. I didn't buy a single client. I don't plan on ever buying a single client. I like to earn my clients. And which is not a pride thing. It depends on what clients came my way. If someone were to offer me them, depending on the price, I might consider it. But anyways, yes, I did. I built my company completely from scratch. And within 2 years, it literally took off. So it was just the right places at the right times and just putting the right role models and people in front of me. So Neil Harris, I wonder if that's Neil Patrick Harris. Just check it. What do you think about 4-cycle edger trimmer and blowers? I am tired of the mixed gas. I personally never used the 4-cycled stuff. I just stick with the mixed stuff. So anyways, I don't really have too much to say about that. I'm more a mixed guy, so I'm just going to keep it that way. Tom Notch paid around $3,800 for his wrap for his truck, and he has commented on... Oh, okay. I thought there was more to that. So yeah, so there you go. About $3,800 for his trucks, and a trailer is going to probably cost way more to do that. I thought for some reason in my local area you can get it for around $2,000. Just depends on your logo, how many layers, colors, and how intensive it is. So definitely, I do like the wraps. They are very, very nice. Will you buy a new trailer? No, I was thinking about it, but I just bought brand new axles on my large enclosed trailer. The small 6x12 works completely fine, and then I just literally bought my dump trailer about a year ago, almost a year. So no, I don't plan on buying another trailer for quite a while. This is from Aaron Cover. Yeah, Aaron Cover. Do you prefer the Walker over the Hustler X1? Depends on what you're doing. Depends on what jobs you're doing. If you're doing high-end quality stuff where it's, well, not necessarily if it's tiny yards. If you're doing high-end stuff, I prefer the Walker because of the floating front deck. There's a lot of things I like about the Walker. If you're doing big open fields like what I was doing when I first started and when I bought them, I would recommend a Hustler. They go a lot faster. And really, that's the biggest thing they have against them is that they do a lot better in tall grass, and in big open fields, they're a lot faster because the T25i, well, let's go the B21 forward, I think goes 7 or 9 miles. I think it's 9 miles an hour. My Hustler can go 11, and if you upgrade it to the the Z, not the Mini Z, but the Hustler, I forgot the names on them. The higher end ones, those go like 15 miles an hour, and it's like flipping ridiculous, which is way too fast for me. What camera do you use, and what video editing do you use? Currently, right now, I'm using the Sony a6300. I shoot in 4K. I love 4K. If you're looking at shooting in 4K, you're gonna have to get a computer that will actually handle it. So I actually built my own PC for around $2,000 where it can actually handle the 4K. I'm actually going to be selling this because I actually just bought a brand new Panasonic GH5 just because it has the flip out screen, shoots in 4K at 60 frames a second. This one only does 30. And a couple other reasons. I have the whole thing right here next to, yeah, I still do. So, and then the editing software, I use Adobe Premiere Pro or Adobe Pro. Sorry guys. All right, sorry about that. I just got a phone call. So I use Adobe Premiere Pro. It's been absolutely amazing. I started out with Adobe Premiere Elements, which you can buy for like $100 or $80. And I just outgrew it. I wasn't able to do the type of stuff you guys see me do in my new videos. So if you're really getting into software, go with the Adobe Pro, $20 a month. Yeah, I think it's $20 a month, and absolutely worth it. I would highly recommend it. How often are you having to do valve adjustments on the VR600? To be honest, not that often. I bought my first VR600 on eBay used, and I didn't get a single adjustment done for 4 years, and it ran great. And that's when I finally bought my new one, and I haven't had to do a single adjustment. So not that often, to be honest. I probably should do it often, but they run perfectly fine for me, which is why I kind of switched over to Still, because I've had such great luck with them. Yeah, what video editing software do you use? So Adobe Premiere Pro. I absolutely love it. Been great. From Gonzalez again, how wide is the bed on your dump, and how long is the bed on the dump? I think that's, if it's the dump truck, I think it's 7 feet wide, 7 or 8 feet wide, and it's a 12-foot long bed. But if it's the dump trailer that you're talking about, it is a 8 by 16. Yeah, that's about right. So I think the dump truck should be about 7.5, 8 feet, I think, as well. From Tommy Leach, do you ever have any experience with grasshopper mowers? No, I have not. They seem similar to walkers. They do, especially the front mount versions. Have you ever considered using them? No, because I don't even know if there's a single dealer in my local area, like anywhere. I've seen them. I've seen a lot of guys use them. I heard a lot of great things about them. I probably wouldn't ever switch because there's plenty more walker dealers around here than grasshoppers. So I'm just going to stick with walker because it's what I know and it's what's around me. How do you secure your mowers down? Yeah, that's one thing I hate about my walkers. They move everywhere. The best thing I have found is, let me go and walk over here, is getting these kind of D-hooks and bolting those to the ground. They have some other big ones. I don't have any here because this thing is a complete mess. Getting the D-hooks, screwing them to the ground. If you can try to get them into the frame, it's a lot better. And then I love using the the quick litter straps, not the RZ mess. Quick litter straps. I absolutely love these things. These are probably one of my favorite things I have received on YouTube and actually done. I use them literally all the time. That's what I have found to be the best. I've seen a lot of guys use, they use 2x4s and they mount them in front and in back of their wheels. And the only thing I don't like about that is I move so much stuff around in my trailer because I have different mowers, push mowers and stuff, so not everything has a set place. So that's why I didn't want to do that. So I just put quite a few of those D-hooks. You can also use the, there are these one-track strips. I forgot what they're called. Extremely popular. That's one way you can do them. And then I think that's basically the best way I have found so far to hold with that. And great, I lost where I was. Holy crap, guys, you guys have a lot of questions. It's been a while since I have, oh, here it is. Okay, cool. Let's see, do you go door to door looking for business when you first started? Attacked HOAs or just regular neighborhoods? When I first started, I started with one client, and I literally got almost every single other client from word to mouth. And then I started putting stickers or magnets on my doors. And then I got people calling me from there. Almost all my clients, how I first started out was word to mouth. And I think that's the best way to go. So and the way I got my condos was really, honestly, I was at the right place at the right time. One of my large condos, I was literally helping my wife's uncle doing roofing because I was doing roofing at the same time because I wasn't staying as busy. And literally I was talking with the homeowners in the condo that we were doing the roof on, and they were telling us how they were looking for another landscaper. And I told them, I was like, oh, well, I own a lawn care company. And they said, oh, well, go talk to the people because they're taking estimates. I gave my estimate and I got it. And then I got the next one to it, and then I got the next one to that. So that's how I got into the condos. Commercial account, my brother works at Discount Tires. So when they were looking for a new guy, my brother mentioned to them, hey, I got a brother that owns a landscaping company. Came and gave a bid, they gave it to me right away. So that's how I got those ones. So I didn't really attack. I was just at the right place at the right time, and it was just an absolute blessing just to be where I did, and it's crazy to see where I was. So I'll explain that in a completely another video. And I can't really talk too much. See, a lot of guys ask me, how do you estimate? What do you charge? And there's a lot of reasons why I can't tell you guys how much I charge. The reasons why is because I live in a very small town, and I know there are several guys in my town that watch my videos. And I don't take care of these little small residential accounts. Like, that's not all I take care of. My main accounts, actually basically all the accounts I have, are condos and commercial accounts. And they're very well known around this area. So if I told you guys I charge X amount at one of my condos, all that person has to do is go to that condo, give an estimate a little bit cheaper than me, and then I lose my condo. That's the reason why I don't tell you guys my prices, is to save my butts, to save my family and my business. Because a lot of these landscapers that I met around here, they're not looking at being my friend. They're looking at getting what I have because they see how well it works for me. And that's why I'm not friends with a lot of them, because, like I said, they're not wanting friendships. They're wanting to steal what you have and to use you. And I've experienced that too many times before, so screw them, right? What's up, Ambro? Shout out from Chicago. Great videos. Awesome. Thanks so much, man. That's great. Chicago, I was there for the Echo place, or the Echo thing. Love your videos from Motor City. Great videos. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Giving away, I don't know who you are, some loser advertising on my thing. So no one wants your crap. Skag, Bobcat, or Exmark. I've had more experience with Exmark than the other two. I have never had experience with Bobcat. I've heard a lot of great things about Skag and Exmark. I would say those are by far the biggest ones. I kind of say Bobcat is one of those underdogs. They're kind of similar to a Hustler, where they're not as popular, but they're around, but they're not as big as Skag and Exmark. So I've heard great things about Skag. I've heard great things about Exmark. So to be honest, I don't know. It'd be hard to choose. I would probably go with Exmark because I like their colors, but I would also have Skag right behind that. I don't know if you guys can hear, it is literally pouring outside. Here, let me walk outside because I can do that since I'm on a phone. And it was pouring like this morning. Yep. I don't know if you guys can see that. Oh yeah, it's pouring good. So there's the house. That's what they got done so far. So they still have, I'm hoping to have my roofing done this week. Holy crap, I've been on this for 42 minutes. Man, you guys have too many questions. Let's see. What do you think about Angie's List, Home Advisor, Porch.com, and Better Business Bureau? Stay away from Home Advisor. I worked for them for a while, 3 years ago. And then didn't care for their service. They were charging me for jobs that weren't even in my area. I actually made a separate video on this, and it was companies to stay away for, which was Home Advisor, and the other one was Fernando and Sons. They are the worst. I filed small claims court against them because they owed me $1,400, and they finally paid me after 5 months because I finally filed against them. That was the only client I've ever had the biggest problem with paying. So I don't know about Angie List. Stay away from Home Advisor. I've never heard of Porch.com. The Better Business Bureau, they called me. I was about to do it. You pay $50 a month just to have their sticker on your trailer. To me, it wasn't worth it because as long as you're big on YouTube and you ask people to leave reviews on your Facebook and on Google and stuff, I don't see the point of having Better Business Bureau. You're basically paying for, that $50 a month can go towards other better advertisement. So to be honest, I would just stay away from all of those. Just start on your own social media, Instagram, if you can, YouTube, your own Google listing, and if not, your own personal website. But yeah, stay away from that. Charlton, Ambrose, how do your shoulders feel after a big hedge job? They're not too bad. Like, a lot of guys complain about them, but I do a lot of hedge trimming. So to be honest, I'm kind of used to it. So it's not that big of a deal. It's when if you're doing large hedges and you're sticking out really far, they tend to get kind of sore, but not that much. I have a lot of big hedge trimming jobs coming this way, so you guys are going to be seeing some major hedge trimming jobs quite soon. And I'm probably not going to be doing that 400-foot hedge that I did last year because the guy was an idiot and he was just so annoying. Brian, how many clients do you have before you claimed your business? I had like, I don't know, 10, less than 10 probably. Those kept me pretty busy. So I would say that because that's how you start out. I started my company in 2012. 2012. February, like somewhere mid-February. And right 2 or 3 weeks before I turned 18. So I think it was 2012. Whatever. I'll let you guys do the math. It was one of those days. It's been almost 6 years. Let's just say that. Aaron Cover, the 4-mix still trimmers still run on mixed gas. Joe Becker, how do you feel? How do you first get started with landscaping? What age? Oh, how did you first get me? I started out with just doing normal stuff in my parents' house. Started out with one client when I was 14 years old. I met him when I was 15, which I call my adopted grandparents. They have been my oldest client for over 10, 11 years. So with landscaping, it's kind of been self-taught and just literally throwing myself into it. So I kind of got into the property maintenance game at around 15. And I did all types of stuff, learned from different things, which was working at people's houses, weed whacking, trimming, hedge trimming, pruning. And literally, I learned off of YouTube. Like I had one client ask me, how do you hedge trim or how do you prune trees? Or they asked me, do you prune trees? And I said, yeah, I can do that. I didn't know how to do it. I went home, watched a few YouTube videos, I went and trimmed them. I mean, that's how you have to learn is, my mentor teaches me, if someone asks you, how do you do something? Or if you do it, say yes, figure it out later. And of course, there's also some wisdom in that. Don't take on insane jobs that you don't know anything what you're doing. Like don't take on $1 million landscaping job if you don't know how to do a single flipping thing. Like you got to be a little bit smart with that. So anyways, let's see. And then some weird pervert. Gosh, some guys are just clearly they're bored. Anyways, let's see, did I answer the first one? Yeah, so does your lawn care really make a good living? A lot of people say no, or maybe they're just trying to put me down. Well, you see how well I've been doing. You see, and I'm not bragging, guys. I hope you guys know that. You see the equipment I have. You see my shop, my house, my life. Kind of, not really. But I would say this, yes, you can. There's a local guy in my company, or in my local area. He has the biggest condos in my area, and he brings in, well, when he was doing pretty good, because I got a few of his accounts just because he wasn't doing as good, he was making at least $400,000 or $500,000 a year. So when people say that you can't make good money in lawn care, yes, you can. They're just not doing it right, and they're not going after the right jobs. So yes, you can do absolutely great in lawn care. You can't do it by yourself your whole entire life, because it gets very labor intensive. Like I'm not going to probably be doing this when I'm 50, maybe in my 40s. I hopefully at that time will have multiple people running my business for me, and I plan on starting other ones where it's not as labor intensive. So yes, you can do really well in lawn care. It's the same thing on YouTube. Look how many people are making millions of dollars off of YouTube. It's just that they're putting the time and effort to do it, where some of them sit there and complain, I'm not making that much, and they're not putting the time and effort as some of these other guys. So yes, you can do a lot, and do really well. Perk, what time do you start in the morning? How late do you work in the day? Mo, how many yards do you do per week? Well, I do condos, and I do a couple commercial accounts. So I would say my biggest condo is about 17 condos, which is 34 yards. So say 34 yards in one day. But since I do condos and stuff like that, it varies. And then sometimes I do some big commercial accounts and hedge trimming. So start in the morning. During the summer, I usually would start around 7:30. I don't start early in the morning because I take care of my condo, so they don't care. So I usually don't start really early in the morning because I'm not a morning person, but I will work late at night. So during the summer, it doesn't get dark till 10:30. So sometimes I'll be working till 7, 8 o'clock at night. And then as of right now, I've been starting work at 7:30 in the morning. And then I usually go till about 3, 4 o'clock, because you can see it's 4:30 right now and it's almost dark out. So you can't really necessarily work in this. And so yeah, hopefully that answered your question. So why so many trimmers, backups, or accumulation? So this is a good question, and this is the thing about Echo. So I would buy, the reason why I have so much equipment, and it's not just Echo sent me stuff, everything you see on this wall besides one, maybe two trimmers, because I have more down here, I bought all of that before I was part of the Echo program. And the reason why I have so many is because I made a separate video on this where I can go to Home Depot, and what people do is they buy Echo equipment. Sometimes they buy it just to use it once and then they return it, or they actually don't like it. And then Home Depot marks it down. So a $230 hedge trimmer, I think the PAS 225 is around $230. They'll mark it down to $150. So I'll pick that up because, like I said, I was having a lot of problems with my Echo trimmers where they would only last me about a year or two. And to be honest, it was cheaper for me to go buy another, and a lot of guys do this with Echo, it's cheaper to go buy a brand new piece of equipment or new trimmer than it is to get it fixed. So that's why I have so much stuff, because when things started acting up, because I found a good deal at Home Depot on a weed whacker, I would just start using that one, because I also didn't have a shop now like I do to fix the carbs, fix the problems, and I just didn't have the time at the time. So that's why I have so much. It's just because I get it at such a good deal. And plus it's always nice to have backups, to be honest. I'm a huge backup guy. That's why I got an extra trailer, extra trucks, extra mowers, extra weed whackers. I love having backups because being, not having a close dealer that takes care of me, I can't rely on them. Who's your daddy lawn care? That's an awesome name. Jason, do you charge for edging extra for new clients if you don't know if they are doing bi-weekly? Let's see, hold on. Jason, do you charge for charging extra for edging for new clients if you don't know if they're doing weekly, bi-weekly? So I only, from the very beginning, I don't do bi-weekly anymore. I only do weekly mowings, and because it threw my schedule off. When you do condos, you have to have a set day each week that you're coming, a set time, set day. And so if I had clients that were bi-weekly, because I used to do them, then it was hard to do extra things for the condos if I needed to do the hedge trimming. I couldn't plan it because then I had my bi-weekly mowing to go do. So I stopped taking on bi-weeklies 2 years ago. So I only do weeklies, and I only took on yearly account jobs. Those were the only ones I want, and those are usually fairly good ones. So the extra, usually when you take on a new client, or when I do, I charge the people a cleanup fee, because I had this at one of my new contracts. All the hedge trimming hasn't been done, and I signed the contract with the guy, and then the guy says, "Oh, when are you going to start hedge trimming?" And I literally just signed the flipping contract with the idiot. And I just said, "I just signed it with you. Why would I do all this extra work?" Because then what happens is that you do all this extra work, and then say if they cancel after a month, you're screwed out all that time and money. So anytime I signed a new account or a new contract with the client, I would always charge them a cleanup fee. And I would explain to them why I would do that. And that's what you have to do. You have to be a salesman. You have to explain to them, this is the reason why I have to charge you extra, because I don't want to get screwed out into the end just in case, because I've had people do it to me. So that's one thing I would recommend. So yes, in a sense, I do charge extra because I charge a cleanup fee. And once we get the property looking good and all cleaned up to my standards, then that's when we start the regular maintenance account after that. Let's see. David Martin, hey Ambrose, how's the landscaping? It's going good. Not doing landscaping as of right now. I took a break from that because I don't have the time. So I just been doing property maintenance. So far, it's been doing pretty good. What's good, people? Let's see. I started. Any pointers? Do you have any old leaf vacs you don't use? Actually, I do. I have one it's a little handheld right there. I have a little handheld Echo, and that one does great. It's a good little starter because you can convert it to a little hand blower, or you can do it to that. I just returned my Billy Goat vacuum system because I hated that thing. So just started. Any pointers? Do you have any pointers? I need to make a separate video because this is probably the number one question I get asked all the time on Instagram is, how do you start out? How do you get clients? Really, my pointers are at the top of my head. Try to stay debt-free. Don't get too big too fast, meaning don't take on so much accounts where you ruin your reputation because you can't keep up with the work. Stay a man to your word. If you tell someone you're going to do it, do it. Call back right away. Keep in contact with your clients. Keep them informed on what's going on. I send weekly emails to my clients, especially my condos. I will send the main guy an email saying, this is what we did this week. This is what we're doing next week. That way, if they have a meeting, they can say, and then you also have it tracked. That happened earlier this year where at one of my condos, this one resident was complaining because I didn't trim their shrubs, this one shrub in front of her house, for over 2 years, but I had email proof that I did it 13, 14 months before that. So I send weekly emails to all my clients, informing them, keeping them up to date. They want to know what you're doing. I used to do phone calls, but it's easier to do emails because you can send it at any part of the night. Because if you don't get off till 7, 8 o'clock at night and get home, eat, spend some time with your family, you don't want to call your client at 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night. You can simply send them an email that they'll get the next morning saying, this is what we did, and this is what we're doing next week. Keep them informed of what's going on. Like I said, stay debt-free and really just grow at a good, steady pace. Challenge yourself, don't settle, and honestly, get some really good mentors in front of you. A lot of guys listen to the advice on YouTube from guys like me. That's a great source because you're getting it straight from us. But I always like to look at guys don't look at guys where they are now, look at where you want to be. So like I'm a good person I would think when it comes to advice on starting out. I have a lot of great pointers, but I can't give the greatest advice on how to run a 10 crew or 5 employee company because I'm not there yet. So I'm not going to give you that advice. That would just be stupid. That's like me telling you how to make $1 million a year, and I don't even make $1 million a year. So I'm not going to give you advice on something I haven't been through or put myself on. But get some good mentors, good business mentors, and set some goals. That's probably another big thing, is setting goals. This is what we want to do this year. Write them down, put them in your face so that you see them, and then that way you will reach those goals. And that's how I am where I'm at right now. So anyways, let's see. Another question from Mufa. I think that's how you call it, Mufa USA. How do you get companies to send you stuff? To be honest, when I first started out on YouTube, I used to reach out to companies. I don't do it anymore. I like it when companies reach out to me because I want them to go on my YouTube channel. They see the amount of work and time I put into my videos and then think we need to have that guy work for us because he does great content. So I don't even reach out to companies anymore. When 2 years ago on YouTube, I reached out to companies like RZ Mass, SureCan. My wife was the first person to actually email them, reach out to them and say, hey, would you guys like us to do a review for you? So I used to do that back in the day. I don't do it anymore. I like it when the companies reach out to me. Echo reached out to me. Walker, they reached out to me. I don't get free products from Walker. They don't give me anything for free. And to be honest, I claim I don't get free stuff because the amount of time I put into my videos, guys, seriously, here, I'll show you. This is some of my recording stuff. I got my slider, I got my pan tilt head, got my tripods, got my lights, got my camera, and then I just told you, I just spent $3,500 2 days ago on a new camera, new microphone for voiceovers, an interface, all this other crazy stuff. So when I tell people I don't get free stuff, it's because I put hours into my videos, and literally the amount of money, what's the product I got? The little Echo hand blower that I did. That video alone that I did for Echo, like if they were to hire a company to do that, they probably would have charged several hundred or a couple $1,000s to do the video I did for them. So people say that I get stuff for free. Well, the amount of time I could do, the amount of hours I putting into a video, recording, editing, setting up, if I were to go mow, I would be making way more than what that little hand blower is worth. So that's why I tell people I don't get stuff for free on YouTube, because I don't do just simple little phone recording videos. I actually spend hours and hours editing, recording, researching, doing new things on YouTube. So really, to answer your question, what's the best, how do you get companies to send you stuff? Ask. A lot of people, I think it's Wayne Gretzky, one of his quotes, I'm probably going to butcher it, but basically people that don't take the shots miss 100% of the time. And so if you guys don't know Wayne Gretzky, he was one of the greatest hockey players, and I played hockey for 3 years. He wasn't my favorite player, but he was a great guy. But I think the quote is something like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. It's the same thing with companies. If you don't sit there and email them and asking them, hey, would you send me this stuff? Then of course they're not going to send it to you. So that's the best answer, is just ask them. Became a big YouTuber with decent videos. Okay. Thank you. I don't know if that's a compliment or not. What do you think happens when you die? Ooh, we're getting to the dark side. Well, I'm a born again Christian. I believe people go to heaven, people go to hell. I'm not going to kind of preach to you guys, and I'm not going to turn this video into a religious thing. If you guys want me to, I can make a separate video on that. But I am a born again Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe that the people that repent and believe in him go to heaven. The people that don't go to hell. So that's what I believe. Some people don't. That's your own beliefs. Whatever. Like I said, I'm not going to force that onto anyone. And nor am I going to turn my lawn care landscaping channel into that. And it's the same thing politically. I have my own political views, but I'm not going to sit here and bash you guys on what I believe in. This is not right. This is a lawn care landscaping channel, and that's what it's going to stay. Let's see. I hate cutting grass. I think you're in the wrong video, dude. So any tips on trimming boxwoods? Keep it square. Keep it round. Boxwoods are a fairly good plant. They're a pretty hardy plant. You can kind of cut them back, and they usually tend to come pretty back. So, I mean, with any plant, don't cut more off than you should. Do the 1/3 rule. Man, really, that's it. I mean, I don't know what else to say about boxwoods. They're a pretty good shrub. Valentines, I think that's how you spell it, landscaping. Hey, Ambrose, what do you recommend to do this season to get some more new customers? I am from New Jersey. Anytime someone always asks me, how do you get more clients? The first question I ask is, what kind of clients do you want? Do you want residential, condo, commercial? Because the way you go after them are completely different. The way you go after residential residential is completely different than you go after a commercial account. So it depends on what you're going after. The next question I would ask is, what are your current advertising strategies that you're using? Because depending on what you're doing, I think the best and cheapest way, business cards. There's one advice I gave to some guy on YouTube is post it on, hand out your business cards to neighbors, place them up in nurseries, place them up like places where people are getting landscaping done. I don't know if Home Depot lets you do it, but at plant nurseries, at barkyard or mulching yards, stuff like that, where homeowners are going to a landscaping place and then they can see your name and think, oh, well, I need someone to do this. You know what I mean? So that's what I would honestly recommend. Like I said, it depends on what clients you are going after, and also what your current strategy is too. Exmark is awesome. I would agree, they're pretty good. How much would you sell the T25 for to buy the B23? I was going to start it off at $10,000. The B23 brand new is a little over, with a deck, I think it's a little over $11,000 is what I think I got an estimate for. And that was brand new, but since it is a demo, the price is going to be lower. So I'm going to throw it up for 10, see what happens, see what I get. There's not many walkers around my area for, on sale, right? Or, for sale. And when they do go on Craigslist, they sell like crazy. So that's what I like. Let's see. This is from John's Lawn. Ambro, how have you grown your channel? If you could you shout out my channel, big fan of your channel. I'm only 15, trying to grow my channel. That was a mouthful. All right, so that's John Lawns. And this is one thing I will say to you. A shout out's not going to do anything. Because I can tell people, hey, go to this guy's channel. But if you don't have good content, if you don't have good videos, people aren't going to subscribe and watch your stuff. So a shout out's not going to do anything for me to you. And this is the reason why I don't do shout outs. And I talk to other YouTubers and they completely agree. So there's your shout out. But like I said, it depends on your content, man. Colin Williams, can you do a comparison video on the Echo bed refiner versus the steel bed refiner? I would love to do that. The thing is, I don't have a steel bed refiner, so I can't do that. I might, we'll see. So I plan on, this girl that was at the steel dealership when I bought my Echo, or my steel trimmer, she claimed that the FS94R, I think is what I have, or whatever, that I bought can run the bed refiner, and clearly she had no idea what she was talking about. So that would mean I had to buy a more powerful head to run it. So I plan on buying another steel trimmer soon, at least the FS91 or FS90, whichever one, and go from there. I got to get to know the steel numbers and stuff. Did you sell your Toro Exmark 30-inch? Yes, I sold those last year. Flippin' hated them. Too much work, and they're a great product, great machine. The quality of it wasn't there, so I got rid of them. And now that I have my walkers, that eliminated the need of having a push mower to begin with, to be honest. If you were to, H Perk, if you were to restart your YouTube channel, what would you do different? Really, man, that's actually a really good question. I would say, I don't think there's really too much I would honestly change. I think the biggest thing was probably reach out to other YouTubers a little bit more, not necessarily for shout outs, but to kind of build those relationships, I guess. I like keeping to myself. I don't reach out to a lot of these YouTubers. Since for one, I'm way out on the West Coast. There's no other YouTubers out here. I don't even think there's another lawn care landscaping YouTuber, at least the big guys, that is out here on the West Coast. Everyone's Midwest or East Coast. So I don't really have anyone I can get in contact with. The closest one is Julio from Lawn Care Business Success, but he's up in Canada. So really, the only other thing I would do different is just post more often. Because I know I don't post a lot of videos, because I personally believe in quality over quantity. I would rather have a few quality videos than a ton of crappy videos. So really, that's what I would honestly do. Other than that, I think I would honestly keep doing the same thing I've been doing. Not too much would change. Hi Ambrose, do you recommend to use a premium Petro mixed with oil for Petro streamers and Petro head trimmer or not? Not too sure. I don't really use too much of that, so I honestly can't give you my recommendation on that. I really apologize for that. Marcos, how to charge if they want to do a season charge? What? I don't know if that's like a yearly contract. How to charge if they want to? So I'm going to see if I'm going to try to answer the best I know from the question you asked. So, how to charge if they want to do a season charge? So if you're talking about a yearly contract, really what you basically have to do is, depending on what's in your contract, if it's head trimming, weed whacking, spraying, all that kind of stuff, all the whole 9 yards or whatever's included in your contract, how much would you charge if you were to do those separately? Add them up. You got to add a lot more overhead just in case you do it more often. But basically, you're just adding up all the services you would already do over the year, and then add some more extra to that for some for some profit and stuff. And that's how you kind of come up with your price, if that's what you're kind of talking about. Crap, I screwed it up again. I'm going to be calling it soon. Holy crap, guys, there's a lot of comments. Some of you guys have been on here I've already been on here for almost flipping 70 minutes. Okay, so there it was. How many lawns do you do per day? It varies, because like I said, I take care of some condos and commercials. I answered that earlier. How do you handle crabgrass and weeds before and during the season? Simply just, like they have specific herbicides out there that you can spray. So crabgrass, they have crabgrass killer, you can do that. And the stuff I use, I believe it kind of takes care of crabgrass, is called Foundation. If not, then I usually just go to Home Depot, or I usually order some from my dealer and just buy a specific spray for crabgrass. So that's how I take care of it. Let's see. Okay. Everyone seems to love my work. I got bare minimum equipment. I do keep in touch with all my clients this is from Marco. Since it's my second job, I have a full-time job. Started as a side job. Now I have 14 clients. That's great, man. Congratulations. I will say this. At some point, you are going to, if you're wanting to get into lawn care landscaping, you're going to have to fully commit, and you're going to have to leave your other job. And I did that when I first started out my company, my first year in business. I almost went out of business because I had almost no work. So I had a second job, a night job, cleaning floors. And it wasn't until I quit that job where I realized I had to put all my time and commitment into my business, and that's where I got to where I am. So you're good where you are, but eventually you're going to have to cut off that other job if lawn care landscaping is the road you're going to want to take. And that's how you're going to finally get success, because you can only put so much time and effort into so many directions. So let's see. Weekly and bi-weekly all alone. Why didn't you like the Billy Goat? I'm going to make a separate video on that. I did not like the fact that it doesn't have a parking brake. So when you start it, I mean, you can hold it, But if you're using the hose attachment and you're on a hillside, it will roll away. So the fact that it doesn't have a simple starting brake, even though it comes with, I bought the one with the self-propelled unit. I thought that was stupid. There was quite a lot of drag to start the motor, and I can tell in a couple years when the motor's not starting on its first pull, it's going to be a pain in the butt. The bag filled up way too fast. The hose unit kept getting clogged up. When the bag would get halfway filled of debris around the top where it was supposed to be sealed off, the bag for some reason would slip down, so there would be this 1/4 inch gap around the whole top, and then tons of dirt and crap would blow into my face. So that's truly why I got rid of it. I got sick of that crap really fast. So I actually returned that. I was able to, I didn't get a full refund. They took $400 off, mostly just to clean it up for resale, and then like a $10, kind of like a restocking fee. But to be honest, it was worth losing $400 than losing $2,600 on a piece of equipment. I didn't say. Okay, so have you ever tried the Sony a6000? No, I haven't, because at the time I bought this, there was a lot of great things about it. But personally, the 6300 is good. Right after I bought this, they released the a6500, and the only things that were different was touchscreen. I think it had a little bit better autofocus, and then some other things. But I switched over to Panasonic because the Sony, it's great, has a huge sensor, has great autofocus. But the fact that it doesn't have the flip out screen is one of the biggest reasons why. Plus, the GH5 shoots 60 frames in 4K. This only shoots 30 frames in 4K. So that's another big reason why I switched over to that. I got the Honda HRC 2616 based on your review last year. It's a mole, love it. Okay, good. The HRC 2620 is a great mower. I don't have it in here, the HRX 217. I love that one a lot more. I had my HRC 216 Honda push mower has been sitting in my shed for the past year and a half. I don't even use it anymore, to be honest, because I like the HRX 217. So let's see. Tricks on getting thrown stress. To be honest, man, Scott, that's a great question. When my second, third year in business, when I first got my condos, that was probably the worst stress. Well, actually, last year was pretty bad. Probably the worst stress and anxiety at night, because what would happen is the condo people would email me saying that, or call me saying, we need to have a meeting tomorrow. I didn't know if it was a good thing or a bad thing or not. I don't know if they were going to tell me we're canceling your contract. And so I could barely sleep at night not knowing what they're going to ask me. And literally I would go the next day and it would be something so stupid and simple. So really the best way to deal with stress is sometimes you just got to be thrown into it, and you will eventually learn how to deal with it. So it depends on what you're being stressed out about. And I will say this, there is a great quote where stress or frustration is the breeding ground for change. So when you're stressed out or when you're frustrated with something in your company, that means something needs to change. So for instance, let's say this. Say you're completely booked up, you're a lone guy, you have so much work and you keep getting more work and you're stressed out and you're getting, not necessarily anxiety, but you're stressed out because you can't do the work. Well, that means that something needs to change. And what is it? The answer is you need to hire someone. So anytime you're stressed out, you need to figure out, what do I need to do to eliminate the stress? Because that means I need to change something in order to get that fixed. And same thing, like for instance with a mower. If you have a mower that keeps breaking down and you're getting stressed out because you're not able to keep up on your clients, well, guess what? That means that it's time to get a different mower. So anyways, I hope that helps. Basically, stress and frustration is the breeding ground and change. So anytime you feel stressed out, that means you need to change something. Sometimes you either need to change yourself, you need to change your thinking or your perspective on something, but really the biggest word is change. Some people just choose to stay where they are. I've had friends that want to do that. They don't want to change. They want to stay in the same boring old flipping job for the rest of their life, and they don't want to go out and get new things and try difficult things. And they're never going to go anywhere in life, and whatever, that's their problem. So what kind of computer program do you use to manage the lawn business? I actually just had one of my buddies actually created my own program for me using, I don't even know, it's some kind of Word program, not Word, Microsoft. And he basically created a program for me that's kind of similar to a QuickBooks, where I can easily create estimates and keep track of income. So I just got that done. I'm going to test it out, and if things work out really well, I talked to him about possibly even selling the program to guys like you if you're interested. So that's what I use currently right now. Before, I was just using Excel because I had it. It was cheap, and it was just one less program I had to learn. This is from Ben. What time of the year do you start putting in bids for commercial accounts? Currently right now, I don't take on any more commercial accounts because I'm booked up as it is. But typically, you want to do it 3 to 4 months before the end of the year, because that's at that time, that's when commercial accounts are tending, because usually commercial contracts, some typically start in January, some don't. So it depends on the client. But typically you want to do it about at least 3 months before the end of the year, because that's when people are going through companies and looking at their budgets. And if you can come in a little bit cheaper, then they're going to hire you, because if they can save some money, especially commercial accounts, that's what it's all about, then that's usually the best time. So try to do it 2, 3, 4 months ahead of time before the end of the year, before they either renew the contract or before they sign another guy or whatever, and before they do their budget for the next coming year. Gas or battery snow blowers, thoughts for homeowners, from Regi. I never use snow blowers because we don't get them here. I used to have one when I lived up in Alaska. My dad had a gas one. If I had to choose, I would go gas. I don't know. I don't know too many battery ones, to be honest. I would honestly probably prefer an electric one than battery, because batteries, they just drain too fast now. I would say gas more than battery, in my opinion. Let's see. This from H. Brick. What month do you start mowing? What month do you also stop mowing? Last year, or this year, we didn't start mowing until mid-March. The past 2 previous years, we didn't start until mid-February. So we had a very late season this year. I'm not mowing anymore, like mowing grass. I'm still using my mowers to suck out the leaves, but typically December is typically when all the, which is actually right now, basically, in a couple of days. December is usually beginning, middle of December is the last time we actually use our mowers for leaf pickup. But usually the mowing stops about mid-November. Just depends on the season. It's different all the time. Let's see. Let's see. San. Hey, bro. Just wanted to say, keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Your content is awesome, and your achievements with your company as well as your property. I love the shop, and your house is awesome. Thanks, man. I really appreciate the comment. Like the channel, man. Congrats on the new shop and house. Thank you, Northup. Oh, that's pretty cool, Northup. I appreciate that. Paul from UK. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate the love from Europe. When you get a flat tire, what do you do? Oh my gosh, that's the easiest question. My brother works at Discount Tire, so I just go to I maintain Discount Tire, and I also maintain 2 large accounts right next to it. So if I get a flat tire, I take it in and I get it fixed for free because my brother works there. So I have, not only do I get things fixed for free, but I get first dibs and get to look at their used tire racks. And let me explain to you guys what I meant by that. You can see all my tires right here. I got all these. I got all of those right there, and they come with rims. Well, these ones came with the rims. These will work for my wife's brand new Ford Explorer. I got those 4 tires for free because they were going to throw them out. I got them for free. All these are extra trailer tires because I go through those pretty fast. I got all those for like a fraction of the cost. So that's one of the great things about having my brother work at Discount. Plus, I know the managers, I know the employees, so they all help me out as well. Have you considered a Toro Super Recycler as maybe a good second mower? No, not really Toro. I'm just going to stick with Walker. I've been very happy with them. And if I were to get something like that, the Super Recycler, because I believe if that's correct, I think that's similar to the Walker mower. If I were to go with a different Walker, if I were to go with another mower similar to Walker, but not Walker, it would be the Exmark Navigator. I was actually looking at buying one of those before I bought the Walker. How many boxes of chicken and cheese can you fit in your garage? I don't know, depending on the size of the box. I don't know. Some of you guys are being weird. Are you planning to put a mulching deck on the B23? I would prefer mulching deck. I had the side discharge. I didn't really care for the Walker mulching deck that I demoed earlier this year. but I would rather honestly have that. So we'll see. I would prefer a mulching deck than the side discharge. The only thing I will say is I've been looking at getting one of those like a grass flap, or one of those things that go on the side of your deck that you can open up, close. And if I got one of those for this walker, I would prefer to have a side discharge, to be honest, because the side discharge will do a lot better in wet conditions, where the mulching, especially in my area, tends to leave the clumps everywhere. So I don't like that. Let's see. This is from Taylor. Love your content up here in Ontario, Canada. Hello, man, keep up the good work. By the way, is that the BR 600, 700? I bought me a brand new BR 700. Love it. Steel for life. That is the BR 600. I actually looked at the 700. I was just at my dealer when I returned that vacuum thing. And they had the 700X, which had a couple things different, nothing major. I was thinking about getting the 700, but to be honest, guys, you guys see how much equipment I have. I don't need a 700. The only reason why I would get a 700 is to do a YouTube review. So yeah, that's the 600. I have a couple actually of 600s. Let's see. This from The Truth. Did you create an effective business plan before you got your business license or LLC business structure? No, not really. I did that more afterwards. So, because once I started listening to certain people that I looked up to, certain role models or mentors, that's where I finally started to learn to have a good plan, good business plan or whatever like that. But no, I did not do that before I got my business. I literally, since my company was starting to grow bigger, I decided to just get my license, and I went with a sole proprietor, and I wanted to get that so that I did not get in trouble with, the government for not having a business license. So I just jumped right into it, and then I figured that stuff out later. So let's see. This from Brent. Industry reps say the West Coast is going to ban two-stroke engines soon. Would you go electric? And yes, there is a city, or at least a couple cities in California, I believe, that ban gas-powered blowers or equipment. I do know there's somewhere in New Jersey or somewhere on the East Coast as well that's done that. Here in Washington, there hasn't been too much push for it. If they banned it, if I couldn't use gas, then I would have to go electric. I don't think I'd go battery, to be honest. Actually, I would go battery before electric. I don't want an extension cord hanging around everywhere. I hope they don't, because I don't care for the stupid ban. I like my gas-powered stuff, and so whatever. It's more California, not necessarily here in Washington. I don't know about Oregon, but Washington, especially in the county I live in, it's not that big of a deal. So anyways, yeah, if I had to go, they forced me, then yeah, I would have to do it. So let's see. Okay. Hey, what's up? And that's from Greenway. So yes, still, in my opinion, is better than Husqvarna. Oh, okay, cool. Let's see. This is from Kelly. You should truly be a motivational speaker. Thank you. I appreciate that. Don't feel like I'm completely there yet. I feel like I have some good things to say, especially guys starting out. But there's a reason why I don't give too much advice on YouTube is, I don't know, I feel like I don't have it all figured out, but I appreciate the comment. Thank you. The HRX 217 is in a commercial unit using commercially cuts warranty, so I was told by dealer. That is true. It is not a commercial unit, but I absolutely love it, and I treat it like a commercial unit. The one thing I don't like about the HRC 216 is the weight. It's way too flippin' heavy compared to the HRX. The HRX, you can easily fold the handlebar down, so I can easily fit it into my trailer, no problem. I can easily lift it by myself into the truck without, hurting my back or anything like that. So I know it's not. I bought my HRX at Home Depot because it was cheaper. So anyways, this one Building It Country, that's my wife. How do you like your little Tykes mower? It's absolutely amazing. I recommend that to anyone. I don't know if you guys saw it. It's right there. It's an absolute beast. I've been thinking about doing like a fun little review video on it just to kind of get some laughs and stuff like that. Exmark Navigator thoughts. Can't really give too much opinions on it because I never tried one. If for some reason I left Walker and didn't decide not to use, well, not leaving Walker, if I decide not to use their mowers, I'd probably switch over to an Exmark Navigator, or at least Exmark, because there's more dealers around. Let's see. Do you smoke weed? Does it look like I smoke weed? No, I don't. I don't spend my money on stupid stuff. So, do you? Okay, now I don't know who the heck are these people. So, anyways, guys, I know you guys had a lot of good questions, and basically, I'm already there. So, I guess that's it. I finally got caught up. So, thanks so much, guys, for keeping this will be my. Let's see. Okay, anyways, yeah, I'm basically done. So thanks so much, guys, for watching. I've been on here for 84 flipping minutes, and I had a lot of guys come and go. So thanks so much, guys, for watching, commenting, and you're looking at getting into heavy equipment soon. Nope, decided not to do it, but anyways, no, I don't plan on doing heavy equipment, at least right now, since I'm by myself. I'm focusing on property maintenance, and then eventually we'll probably head back into it. So anyways, thanks, guys. I really appreciate all your guys' comments and just watching and the support for my channel. Like I said, you're going to see a lot of things hopefully change soon with the new camera and new audio setup I just bought, and things are going to get crazy really fast. So thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and like I start saying in all my videos, always be original. Thanks so much, guys. Take care. Have a good night. Let's end this really. They don't have a fast end button.